Hey guys, Preston and Matt here with Nomad Church Collective, coming at you with our September video newsletter. We're glad to see you, just to share some stories with you and let you know what's coming up in the future of our ministry.
Yeah, it's been really cool. You know, here recently we've been able to connect, really closely in some one-on-one relationships with some guys. And, one of those guys is a friend of ours named William. And, we've talked before about our partnership with Recenter Ministries and how they have just been like such an amazing partner. And they have a specific program that they run that it works really, really well with what it is that we do and we feel called to do. And so it's something, as we're ministering to a guy, that we can partner with them and plug them into this kind of like program where they really get some unique training and classes and the ability to live in a place where they can get healthy and they have community that's being built around them, and a lot of people around the clock pouring into them, and it kind of gets them out of maybe an environment that they need to get out of and lets them get healthy and get connected to God and get connected to relationships. And that's been really cool. So we got a guy that we were working with, that he's over there right now, and Recenter has told us that he is just really doing well. Just really killing it over there, loving the community and the time to engage with God. And so that's been such an encouragement. And, between that and, we have another friend that we've been hanging out with, and he's been going to church with us. And actually he's going there on his own, and I get to connect with him and talk to him. He's been going with us to Jobs for Life class that's going on. And we're able to help facilitate that and build relationships through, being kind of some prayer leaders and also kind of like mentors in the class. And so, he is really seeking to like find godly ways to be able to interact in a job setting, to find skills that he needs for a career. And that's been a really cool type of situation that's been going on too on a personal level.
So if you've followed us or supported us for any amount of time, you know that our mission is to make disciples of Jesus by taking the gospel into the margins of society. And if you look at the Gospels, in Scripture where Jesus has his disciples, his 12 disciples, you know that there weren't only 12 people following him, but that he chose specifically 12 men to pour his time and energy into. And then even within that 12, he had 3 close people who he brought into like the inner workings of the ministry that he was doing. He would take them to do specific tasks and to experience certain things. And through those relationships that Jesus was building into and pouring himself into, we then had the whole Christian movement of the church, spring up. And, I think sometimes for me, we're in this new space, the Outpost. We want it to be a welcoming place for the entire community. And I can get it into my mind that if we're not there serving, like 1,000 people a day, coming in there, getting a cup of coffee, somehow getting able to sit down and pray and get to know every single person coming through, that if we're not doing this massive thing for tons of people, that we're somehow not accomplishing the work God has called us to. But that is the wisdom of man, right? Like that's the wisdom of this world. And for us, what God has shown us clearly in the Scriptures, that what it means to disciple someone is to be able to really pour yourself into a relationship. So these stories about William and about our friend Chris, who's going to Jobs for Life, they are examples of the few people who've been coming down, who's brought us into contact with these people to be able to very slowly and deliberately pour the truth into their lives and help them to see the opportunities and the choices God is setting before them, and to be able to make decisions that honor God and honor Christ. And it's beautiful to see the fruit of the opportunity God has given us, and the time especially God has given us, to really pour into individuals instead of trying to reach the masses all at once. And it displays his wisdom and his grace in being able to, and letting us be able to participate in his kingdom in that way.
And it's been really cool because as we have walked through that, to be able to reflect back, like God has shown us, and as we look at it, he's connecting us to dozens and dozens of people throughout the month. And that is an amazing thing too. So, to look back and to see that like these individual like relationships that we're getting to pour into, like you look back and you're like, before you know it, the circles of community have just grown and grown. And that is like really cool. And to be able to experience that with other believers and other organizations and churches, that's been such a blessing too. So we also want to let you know about some stuff that's been going on, that's getting ready to come up. October is coming up, and we are planning to have a worship night to share some stories and to share some worship time and prayer with people in the community, our friends and family, you guys that are watching this and supporting us. And so we wanted to let you know about that. It's going to be October the 18th. That's a Friday evening. I think we're going to do it from like 6 to 9, somewhere in there, something like that.
It'll be outside.
We'll have it outside, and there's a yard behind the outpost, and there'll be some hanging out inside too, I'm sure. So we just wanted to let you know about that now, so you can put that on your calendars and just get prepared for looking forward to that.
Something else coming up in October. The date is not official yet, but one of our partners is Southeast Christian Church, and their Indiana campus, their campus pastor Bryson, not campus pastor, I'm sorry, their community pastor Bryson has realized that a lot of people really want to serve and connect with the poor. That's a big part of our mission, what we want to do. And he's realizing a lot of people just don't know how to do that or what they need to know before engaging in this ministry that God has put on their hearts. So he had the thought that the church should host a panel discussion with several different organization leaders from places like Nomad, Recenter Ministries, and Hope Southern Indiana, people that interact with the poor every day. So hosting a panel that folks can come to, maybe ask some questions and get some insight into what it would look like to minister to the poor in their neighborhood and in their area. So we'll send out more information as that comes to us. We'll put it on our Facebook page, but it's an open event that anybody from any church would be able to come to and get more information and have their questions answered on what it looks like to care for the poor and marginalized.
Yeah, we get a lot of questions from believers all the time about what it looks like as someone who follows Christ to come alongside and love the poor and marginalized. And so, this is something that Jesus is calling us into. And so it is a question that is burning in the hearts of a lot of people. And so, we love having that dialogue with people. So this would be a great opportunity, like Preston said, to do that. Also, there'll be some volunteer opportunities out of that too. One of the things we'll be talking about that night is how people can come together and maybe build some teams to be able to work with the White Flag Shelter that's coming up in November to April. So that'd be another opportunity there. So something else that we want to bring you in on, we've kind of been talking about it and having you guys pray about it over the last few months. And that is, we've been telling you about the outpost and what that represents. And, we've also been asking you to pray about a way that we could find, to be Spirit-led into an opportunity to provide something that could be pouring some sustainability into the building to continue to have that space to be able to welcome people into for on a long-term basis. And so, we have been praying through that. We've been really searching for what it is, like not an idea that we come up with, but what is an opportunity that God's allowing us to walk into. And so, recently we've connected with a friend of ours who is very passionate about Jesus, and he's also very passionate about roasting coffee beans. And so this has started a conversation where, we have some space there to be able to possibly partner with him, and we're walking through that now, what it could look like to have him roasting coffee beans out of the back of the outpost, to be able to provide a way for the story of God, of what he's doing in these communities, but also to provide this kind of like sustainable income that could be coming back into the outpost too, and just a cool conversation thing. Also, some really great coffee that we could share where you come in and hang out and come in from the community to rest and just be loved on and have somebody minister to you. So we ask that you continue to pray about that. And as that forms into a more concrete, picture, we'll be sure to let you know about it. We were asking you to please be praying about that. We're very excited about it. We really love and trust our friend, and I know he's excited about it. So, that you'd like to keep that on your radar.
Just to give a moment of praise and glory to God on that note, the coffee roasting thing is something God was showing us before we came in contact with this friend specifically about coffee roasting. And so it was a beautiful way God had given us a glimpse about something, and we knew that it wouldn't be us doing it, that somebody would be coming our way. And sure enough, God lined that up. So at least from our perspective, it seems like God is taking us in this direction. And that's an answer to prayers, not just our prayers, but yours as well. So like always, as we close, we want to thank you so much for your prayers, and to let you know those prayers are being answered, just as you can see. God is hearing our cry to him, and we're so thankful for that. We're thankful that we can display his faithfulness in caring for our ministry and leading us forward in that. So thank you so much for your prayer and support.
Love you guys.
Love you.